All right, this is man DJ Chocolate Thunder from DZT with my main man Rice here, and what we're trying to do is just show a little support for my homeboy. Yeah, he going through some stuff right now. We're trying to, spread the word. If you know people that are going through the same thing, you can watch us and just showing your support. It's called Kiari, I believe, and we're just gonna let him talk a little bit about.
All right, it's Kiari Malformation. I am going to be having surgery, which is brain surgery, Friday. I'm scared to hell about it. But what it is Chiari malformation is whenever your cerebellum, it has tonsils on each side of it, and the tonsils will go into where the brainstem is, like how your brainstem connects to your spine, and go into that little hole in the back of your skull. It kind of sinks down, and whenever it sinks down, it pushes against your brainstem. And it causes all kinds of problems with, like your brainstem's the main structure that controls everything with you. And so, it can do anything from give, like me, severe migraines. I get migraines every damn day. But it's also closing off your CSF flow. And whenever it closes off your CSF flow, you don't have no fluid pretty much going around your brain, so your brain will be just floating there in air, pretty much. But it puts you through hell. Like, honestly, I don't think any person that has it can tell you that it doesn't. I haven't been able to work for a few months, supposed to be having surgery, and then didn't happen, so it's been one thing after another, causing so many problems. Well, from when I was in the military, and I got discharged because of it. But surgery's Friday. Wish me luck. Pray for me.
Yeah.
Whatever your preference.
Yeah, we definitely gonna be showing our support for the man Rice. He gonna put the link up right here, I guess, for you to go to a little support site. Go on there, show your support, y'all.
Well, it's Conquer Kiari for people that don't know how to read. ConquerKiari.org.
Yeah. So
.org.
It's out there, y'all. We just trying to put it out there, so show your love.
Welcome to another episode of Drunk Zombie Talk. We're glad you stuck with us, and thank you for viewing us, and hopefully you'll subscribe. And thanks for the poll questions on Facebook we're going to get into. But right now, I'm going to introduce, I'm Rabbit, this is...
DJ Skittles, hi.
And as always...
DJ Chocolate Thunder.
And tonight we are going to just talk about everything zombies like we usually do. And I'm going to just throw it over to DJ.
Alright, well... Like you said, man, I appreciate everybody going on there and posting your opinions on the site and viewing all our videos on YouTube and everything. Let's just keep it going. Let's keep it going. Tonight we're going to be drinking some dirty wine, as we like to call it. It's apple juice and brandy, and I love this drink.
Personally, I do too. I was actually the one to introduce him to it.
Yeah.
And, let's just say DJ got a little carried away and ended up hugging the toilet.
Yeah, it's called dirty wine, but don't drink it like it's wine. Well, basically, just however much you want to put in there, it's really no actual recipe. It's just something that we mixed up. Brandy and apple juice, man. That's about it.
Just do half and half, man.
Yeah, I'd say half and half would be a good drink, and it's definitely a drink you want to take your time on. It tastes like apple juice, honestly. It tastes just like straight apple juice. That's what fooled me the first time that I had it. This bottle actually costs about, what would you say it costs?
It costs about 15, 16
About 15 bucks, and then,
It's a big size bottle of brandy.
Yep, and about $3 or $4 for the apple juice. So it's pretty cheap to make a good strong drink with. Like I said, you drink a couple of those, just sipping them slowly, and you'll be feeling pretty good. Like we are going to be at the end of this show.
Yeah, believe me, brandy warms the belly. It's really good on a cold night.
Oh yeah.
And if you drink like at least 2 of these within an hour, you're probably going to have a really good night soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to go ahead and get to the talk about the poll a little bit?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's see. We did a poll this week, and we actually got a lot. Did you get the votes, by the way?
Yes, I did.
We got the votes. Okay. Let's see. We did a poll, and it said, "What would you do in the first 24 hours of the zombie apocalypse?" Big ZA. And the first question, the first answer was board up all windows and doors and hoard up for 2 weeks and then make a break for it. The second one was grab everything you can, make a break for the wilderness. Third one was
Get a group of friends and prepare for battle.
fourth one was try to leave town with everyone else. Fifth one was break into a pawn shop and hoard up there. And the sixth one that I don't think anybody voted for, did they?
No,
Nobody
we
voted.
didn't
Pull a
get
Hunger Games and go to Walmart and kill everybody, including zombies.
Yeah, no vote on the Hunger Games.
I mean, that Walmart cornucopia, I think that'd be pretty cool. So we got 5 votes on make a break for the board up for 2 weeks, and then make a break for it, and we got 4 votes on going to the wilderness, and 1 vote on prepare battle with friends, and that was it.
Yeah,
that was it. That's
no, we got 2 votes actually on breaking into a pawn shop and robbing a pawn shop.
Yeah,
we got 2 votes, so about 11 votes, 11, 12 votes in all. Like I said, we really appreciate y'all getting on there and throwing your opinion out there. And we had a couple of our friends that tweaked theirs a little bit. Like I said, you can put comments on them, man. So just anything you want to do to justify your answer, go ahead and throw it on there, man. Anything you got to say.
Which I might add that for those 2 that did tweak their answers a little bit, I full on agree. But you guys are going a little eccentric.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Shane's idea, and then Jacob, you did. It's pretty funny, but I think you're kind of pulling off a movie. I don't mind you. I mean, it's a good strategy. It's a good way to do it.
So why did you choose what you chose?
I chose hoard up for 2 weeks, and board up all the windows and stuff, and just make a break for it then. The reason I chose that is because when the big ZA happens, there's going to be chaos. Nobody's going to know who's anybody. Your neighbor's going to probably try and shoot you, like in the remake of Dawn of the Dead when she was asking what happened to her neighbor, which we're going to get into later.
Yeah.
I'm going on the whole segment about shit like that. And you can't really trust anybody. I'll try to get a hold of my friends as much as possible. But who knows, maybe the phones might be disconnected, shit might be knocked out already. But I'd rather hold up for 2 weeks, wait for things to die down, especially in our location right now, because we're next to a major highway, and that's really bad. And I would just wait for things to die down, and then maybe make a break for, some kind of, safe house off in the distance, away from a major city. What did you pick?
I picked a group of friends. Grab a group of friends and prepare for battle.
How'd you do that one?
Well, me and some of my friends, we've kind of sort of been planning out some of this for a while. Before it got real serious, and we all decided to just go out to my house my parents' house actually, because it's out in the wilderness, and we have some weapons. They have their own weapons also. But we have weapons also to take care of everything, and the wilderness I feel is the best place to go to, because that's where the least amount of zombies are going to be taking place. Most of the zombies are going to be in major cities, highly populated areas like Walmart, Target, places like that.
The cornucopia is
you want to
back to the Hunger Games. The cornucopia,
right? You want to go there after everything has settled.
That's desperation for me. I would at least make an army before I went and tried to do something like that. I wouldn't trust something.
If it comes down to it, you got to survive with food and everything. You want to do whatever it is possible.
I'd hit small towns first, and I'm sure everybody would agree with that.
True.
Hit small towns first.
I also picked the same one as Brad. For mainly the same reasons. Like he said, when it first happens, there's going to be chaos everywhere. You can't really trust nobody. So the best thing you can do is kind of assess the situation, get yourself a little plan, and after you hoard up for 2 weeks, or however long it takes for it somewhat to calm down a little bit. You can kind of make your plan from there. But like I said, I think definitely run into the wilderness. Finding a safe haven out there, and the main thing about it is that I think we've learned throughout the whole zombie apocalypse thing is no safe haven is safe forever.
Right.
No,
every haven will fall eventually.
Yes.
Either inside or out.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So basically that's it on my opinion. I think we're ready to go ahead and move on to the weapons. And
take it away.
And I'll take that. We got there's our weapon of the week, which is we didn't have it last week because
it's a new segment.
Yeah, it's a new segment we putting in there, and I got 2 weapons that actually were perfect Christmas gifts from Rabbit. It's my 2 twin machetes that I like to call Cain and Abel. I know they weren't twins, but
they were brothers.
These are. I really like the machete because it's multi-purpose. You can if you're out in the wilderness and you need firewood, you got something to chop it down. You don't have to find a bunch of small branches, depending on how sharp you keep your weapons. But mainly what it's famous for is decapitating zombies. That's
Micho style.
Yes. And I got a good pretty long arm, and this is an extra 25 inches added on. So you just think if I have a couple zombies and I have 2 of these strapped on my back, then we'll be making another YouTube video with zombie kills in the apocalypse. And also with the machetes, I think they can also be used as survival tools. Like if you're in a tight situation, you can if you have it, depending on the how degraded the zombie's body is, you can chop at one of the legs and cut them down a little bit, and
incapacitate them.
Yeah, you can incapacitate them, and you can disable them and cripple them, their ability to get after you, so to speak.
So you can take off running.
Yeah, so you can
save energy.
Yeah, so you can take off running, get to where you need to get, and kind of assess the situation and see what your options are in getting out. So that was our weapon of the week. Like I said, Cain and Abel, and I'd like to once again thank my cohort Rabbit for the excellent Christmas gifts. I will definitely be getting sharpening stones for these, and if you don't have one, you might need to get 2, but don't get 2.
You might want to book a beeline and just keep it hidden underneath the back, pull it off and cut off some guy's hand who's trying to push you or something.
Yep, and now we getting into our main. This is going to be our main course. This episode of Drunk Zombie Talk, we're going to kind of explain about the basic history of zombies, where it started, who started it, this man's zombie idol. We're going to talk about who started it and just how it's changed throughout the years, and we're going to pass that over to the main man, Rabbit, for that one.
All right, let's talk about from everywhere, every single zombie movie. But first, I want to thank George A. Romero. If you don't know who he is, you are obviously in the wrong category. He's the one that spawned it. He created it all. He started with the 1968 Night of the Living Dead black and white version. It was the most controversial film back then because it had a lead black role in it. And at one point, he struck a white girl, and it caused a big thing about it, but it was actually pretty funny the way he struck her. He kind of smacked the shit out of her, and she just went, "Ow!"
So did you notice she also had a wig on in that one? She was wearing a wig in that one, wasn't she?
No, it looks like some kind of 60s haircut, kind of weird thing.
It must have been. I thought it looked like a wig to me.
No.
But, whatever.
Yeah, you got to give a big shout out to him. I mean, if he's the one that spawned this whole thing. I mean, if he didn't decide to just make this like new horror story back then, I mean, we wouldn't have anything that we have now. We wouldn't have Walking Dead. We wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have Talking Dead. We don't know what zombies are. They'd be like some ancient described ghouls or something that just are just crazy little creatures that attack people. And he specified it. He specified the monster, and we're gonna give a big shout out to him, and thanks for everything. You're my biggest fan, and I'm your biggest fan. My bad. And well, I hope he's my biggest fan. That'd be awesome. I'd love it. I actually, if he said I was your biggest fan, I could die. Just like what he did to Shaun of the Dead. When Shaun And Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg, and what was his name? I'm drawing a blank. Edgar Wright. They got to be in Land of the Dead, which is also a George Romero movie. And he loved Shaun of the Dead so much that he asked them to come on and be a part of the show. And they're actually the photo booth zombies in the scene. And you can check it out. It's when they're in the casino area and they're showing like the zombies being shot with paintballs, and like they have this underground casino. They're buying coke and all that stuff. There's these 2 zombies that are chained up, and like they just shows a girl screaming in front of them, and they take a picture. The one on the left is Simon Pegg, Shaun of the Dead, aka, and Edgar Wright, the director of Shaun of the Dead, is on the right. And yeah, they did a big shout out. They did a big thing for George Romero, and George Romero loved it. And when they first met him on the behind the scenes, he had a button that said "Go for the head, shoot for the head, Shaun of the Dead." Yeah, just everything. Love you, George. You're awesome. If you don't know who he is, you guys obviously are in the wrong category. You guys suck. I want to go into like all of his movies. Like he did the first trilogy. I mean, I already talked about. Or actually, he did Saga. It was like a saga in a way. He did Night of the Living Dead. The second one was Dawn of the Dead, which was what was it, 1970? No, it was 78.
I think it was 10 years after. 10 years after Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, 78 then. It'd be 78 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one too. I mean, if you like cheesy movies, not these B-rated movies that come out. I mean, some of them are pretty good, but the cheese in this one, you can cut it with a knife and eat it too, instead of just cutting it and throwing it away and going, yuck. Inside joke. But
that was actually one of my favorite ones. I like the original.
Yeah,
Dawn of the Dead. I really like
the original Dawn. If you've seen the first Dawn, I mean the remake Dawn of the Dead, which was 2004.
Yeah, 04.
Yeah. I mean it's good, but
it pales in comparison. It really doesn't
Yeah.
do the original one right to me.
Yeah, it
which
doesn't
goes
do
into
good justice.
the dissuasion of the difference between fast and running zombies. I mean, like all George Romero's films. The zombies are slow, and in all these new ones, they're fast and running. I mean, fast and running is scarier. That's why they make them fast and running. But if you know, like, if you're infected with some kind of disease, like, that kills you, and then you come back to life, you probably will develop rigor mortis within 20 hours, I think it was 24 hours, and that's when your body becomes stiff. So you're going to start walking around, like, stick-legged, unless you, like, break bones, and then if you break bones, I mean, it's like a leg bone or something, I mean, it's sticking out. You can't really walk on it. You'd be like slumping down and like falling apart.
Which is like kind of how the whole zombie walk thing came to pass.
It's kind of like a mummy walk in a way.
Yeah, I think George A. Romero's his depiction of zombies is a lot more realistic. You know, I know for some people it's pretty far-fetched.
I think it's more horrifying.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot scarier.
I mean, would you? I mean, it goes to the Walking Dead kind of thing. Would you rather have a fast zombie or a zombie that you don't know, just sneaking up behind you? They're more stealthy. They are all about scent and sight. Yeah. I mean, they can hear too. I mean, like scent, sight, and hearing. That's all they're about. I mean. It's mainly about the scent and the sight that they can get you on.
So, and I also have another thing I want to kind of throw at you. In the George A. Romero ones, they just they flock in to where the nearest meal is at, so to speak. So, Do you think there's like some kind of instinct to where, or do you think their sense of smell is actually that good?
Well, I mean, they're not smart. They could develop the intelligence like in some of the other movies that we've seen. And, I think it's mainly just like first come, first serve. Well, like, I want to eat.
If it comes down to instinct, like you look at animals, just basically like wolves and stuff, their instinct is, I mean, they have a pretty good sense of smell already, but, all they know is eat. They need to survive, and zombies have that basic instinct of surviving. So it goes down to the basic, they probably don't have the feel. They just know that they need to go after whatever it is that they smell or see.
I would see it as like, pigeons or birds of any type. You throw some seeds on the ground, a pigeon comes, and then all of a sudden a flock comes. It's like somebody like hoisting out like a pie in the window, and then like a boy smells it down the street, like, ooh, pie, and then like he runs off and he's like, oh, I'm going to go get this pie, kind of yelling and screaming about pie, and then like all of a sudden they come to it, but only they don't yell, they don't communicate that way. It's more of a smell, and then they see where the other one's going. It's more of a leader, kind of like who's like a flock. And what did they call them in Walking Dead? They called them a horde. Or no, they call them hordes. I can't remember what they called them. Like waves or some shit.
It would
like
be
that.
but it would be like a flock though.
Yeah. I mean, they would
kinda,
stick together.
like,
They would stick together.
One senses something and starts moving that direction. The rest of them are going to catch on to that one, and I mean, they might not all catch on, but one's going to catch on to another, and they're going to start moving in the same direction as
It's like
the original.
They all have like a baby's mind. It's like, if mommy goes this way, obviously I'm going to follow.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
it's something that goes back to like
So about the
basic.
communication thing in Night of the Living Dead, what did you think about how they got the lead zombie to start getting the other zombies to gain intelligence, and he was kind of teaching them how to do things. And it also goes
Land
back
of the
to
Dead?
Land of the Dead
was that
like
Land of the Dead?
That
Yes.
was Land of the Dead.
And also, what do you think about zombies? Like last week, the rabbit had asked me, did I think zombies had a small trace of who they used to be? Well, in some of the films, they do. It shows that they do, because you got the guy going out there trying to pump gas when there's no cars out there, and people trying to
Trying to imitate the
in Dawn of the Dead,
life.
you got the dude sitting down with the mannequin, and he was like playing with the mannequin like it was a doll.
Yeah.
You remember that scene?
In
it was
Shaun of
a
the
girl.
Dead,
Yeah.
in Shaun of the Dead, at the end of the movie, they showed them actually using them for basic work, pulling in carts. They was just basic. You could call it slavery, kind of.
It is a point of slavery, I would say. They have that instinctive need to feed, but I mean, you got to think that this is so many months after and stuff like that. I mean, in Land of the Dead, it was literally like years, like this has been going on, years and years and years. Like it goes back to Day of the Dead, another George Romero. That was a part of the trilogy, the first trilogy before Land of the Dead came out. If you haven't watched this one, my favorite because of the gore. I mean, the storyline and the
Hello. Does anyone know?
yeah, it was good. I think it was like my favorite gore.
I liked
Gore,
it.
like there's some gore scenes in there that just make people cringe, but just to see them again, they're so and goes back to like how they did the gore back in the day instead of all this the computer bullshit and stuff. Like they didn't put their heart and soul into it, man. That's what makes me mad about zombie movies today. They always have a blood spray that's computerized. Go back and watch Day of the Dead, and you would take a whole different way on it. I mean, watch all the old movies, like from the 70s to the fucking early 90s. I mean, they
Evil
are
Dead.
just going off on like
Evil
old
Dead.
school gore.
Evil Dead
But
1 and 2 were good too.
In Day of the Dead, I'm sorry I rambled off a little bit. In Day of the Dead, there was a scientist, and they've been down in this missile silo for months and months and months. And I mean, pretty much they go out and try to find survivors. At the beginning of the movie, it shows it, and they basically nobody's left. I mean, it's been that long since the zombie apocalypse has happened. And they got the scientists working down there, and he's actually got one, and he's training it. He's not really training it. He's teaching it like a child. And he's teaching him how to use shaving. He teaches him music and like how he turns on the buttons and stuff. And I'm not gonna ruin the movie for you, but he becomes kind of like the Land of the Dead zombie, just without a teacher. He just kind of without a teacher to teach him. I mean and it shows that they still have the brain up there. That it's still somewhat active because of the animal instinct, and they want to feed and eat and stuff. Like this basic instinct, but there's still like a little spark that you can hit, and they can. I mean, eventually,
It's like
evolution.
Fido.
Yeah, like
Fido.
evolution will happen eventually, and they'll start to get smarter. I mean, they might even start becoming strategic, like in Land of the Dead. I mean, it was pretty interesting how like he was able to communicate with them, and he was just telling them just like, hey, use this instead of using this. You know, actually use what you have in your hand rather than just try and gnaw.
So in that case, I want to ask you another question. In that case, do you think it's possible, like that one movie you were telling me about, where they had them as pets?
That's what we were
Fido.
Yeah,
That's
do
Fido.
you think it's possible to live with them, or do you just want to kill them all? Because me personally, I just want to see heads roll.
It's
I would see that.
Man,
I want to see heads roll.
different movies have different aspects. That's the problem with some of the movies that some people make. But like Fido, they have the aspect of
Family oriented.
yeah. They but it's not that they give them something. They strap a collar on their neck that gives them brain that runs to their brain, so they're like, yes, I'm a zombie, yes, all this other stuff, but it's like a shock collar to a dog. The dog starts barking, it zaps them.
But only
Fido,
it keeps them sane.
it keeps them. Well, it doesn't. Well, it kind of keeps them sane, but
It turns
more
into
so,
this-
it just keeps them from being just this mindless
It keeps them from being
that
an
just
animal.
wants to be, brains.
It keeps
they
them from
feed
wanting
them
to be an animal.
what they feed them raw meat. That's their food. You give if you had a wolf as a pet. You'd be giving it raw meat because you don't want to just give it dog food because that ain't gonna
Dog food
do
is
nothing.
from a wolf.
Yeah, a wolf. A wolf that is out in this. But like also in Fido, they started gaining thoughts and brain. They started like the main zombie in that movie. The collar came off, and it just knew that it wasn't supposed to do these certain things. It just, it knew what it had to do, and then it knew what it didn't have to do.
It kind of went back to it was actually a pet, but it still had like a human side to it.
Yeah.
It knew that it was just like, I can't attack them because they're my family.
Right.
They treated me so good,
Well,
kind of thing. It's like a dog.
Yeah.
But then again, that goes into the factor of that some zombies could do that. They can get that smart, but when you have like a really good dog and you train it well, and it turns around and bites your boy in the face or something, it just like rips his whole cheek off or something just because he was playing with it, and the dog was having a bad day. Got to put that bitch down. That's how it goes.
That's the same idea. The zombie and a dog, in that movie were kind of one,
It was
one and the
similar,
same.
yeah, they were
it was,
pets.
A dog has basic instincts. It was don't bite the hand that feeds, and if it just so happens to happen, it's done. A
Basically,
dog
just
or a
check out-
zombie or
Check out Fido. It's one of those zombie movies that are kind of quirky and cheesy.
it's really off. It's
it's-
not from every other movie. It's like a good zombie movie, but it's taken away from the rest of the
it's
zombie movies.
reality,
Yeah.
if you will, zombie reality, if you will.
It's also based in the 50s, late 50s, early 60s. So, yeah. It's a good one, though. I enjoy it. I liked it.
So let's talk a little bit about, as you know, Resident Evil, the first one on PlayStation. If you ever got into it on PlayStation, right?
I love it. My favorite.
It was actually the first survival horror game. So let's talk a little bit about the Resident Evil series and how in Resident Evil's depiction of zombies, from how it started to the things that they do with zombies nowadays. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
okay. I like that. I like the idea of the kind of like the if you will, the one government doing tests on shit like that. Umbrella was doing some kind of test. It's like some kind of virus, and you're implanting in patients. People that were turning into monsters and stuff, and when they died, they reanimate. And they went to the basic instinct of it's just kind of like it erased the brain, but only left the hunger thing. But in all the movies, nobody knows what happens. Even Resident Evil is all about one virus. all the other movies, what did they say? It ranged from voodoo,
airborne toxins, and then
Airborne
and then
toxins.
in the old school, like one of the first theories was the radiation thing that you saw in the George A.
Yeah.
Romero ones.
yeah,
in the games or the movies?
In the movies,
Okay.
And in the Night of the Living Dead, the black and white version, like they were talking about before the zombie attack. It
Games
was,
from space.
yeah, it was like well, I mean not that one. It was
The original?
in the very original. There was a newscaster talking, and he was talking about how this I think it was Russian satellite fell to Earth, and they did not know where it went, and they were concerned that it might have some radiation on it, and that is what possibly caused it. But I like how Resident Evil did like the whole, just like the government actually causing it.
Yeah.
I like biological weapon warfare kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like they were gonna bomb somebody else, but it backfired somehow and fucked everything up. And I like how it did it because they every time, if you even played some of the games, like you would go through a massive amount of just like stress and like so much tension from trying to defeat this game and like all these zombies and whatnot. And at the end of it, you'd find out that, oh, well, they were just gonna kill you anyways.
Yeah.
It's just like they try to cover up their tracks every time. And if you've played any Resident Evils, and obviously you've seen the movies because they're pretty popular, they do that every time. I mean, every single time they cover up their tracks. I mean, that's pretty much a typical and realistic zombie scenario.
Yeah.
I would think that something like that would happen.
I actually think that you know, the one government, the one they depict, like for a lot of people, would be
Like an
the
umbrella corporation
Yeah,
kind of thing?
the umbrella corporation, so to speak, will be the most realistic, you know, realistic cause of the zombie apocalypse is what a lot of people.
Oh,
think.
yeah.
And I also think that's the most realistic one. Like even if you don't believe in, like if you had to listen to all the different ways that zombies come about, that when we talk about that one, that you would say that makes more sense than radiation, some random airborne toxin, and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
But
I feel the same way. You know, it's
It's
you look
easy.
at Zombieland. It was
Okay, yeah,
Zombieland.
Zombieland
Okay, it
was-
was
well,
mad cow disease.
Yeah.
Turned into this, and then it turned into this, and then it just so happened to be able that humans were able to contract it, and they just went. They were zombies, but they were diseased.
Yeah.
And they all
It's
they
like
knew
some kind of
was
failed government experiment.
yes. Well,
animals.
Zombieland was. It wasn't like it wasn't.
Well,
it was just
some kind of disease.
it was just something that happened. It was an accident. It like no one knew that it was going to happen. It just
right,
just happened.
right.
you know.
Also got another thing
see,
for
like
you.
with Resident Evil, that was a government thing.
Oh yeah.
It just-
okay, we're
it
just
was-
relapsing over here.
Well, what you were saying is a government thing.
Yeah.
With Zombieland, it was just something that happened. No one knew about it. No one was
so
just
you're talking about
expecting
natural,
it.
like the
It was just
natural
a
stuff,
natural occurrence.
kind of like the radiation thing that I was talking about, like it just fell to Earth and like all the shit. Stuff.
Yeah. It came out of nowhere.
I also have another thing for you. I know you're a fan of the Resident Evil games. What do you think about the whole parasite theory?
Man,
I don't like that one. That's why I felt out.
What do you think, actually? What do you think?
That is honestly.
Spit
I mean, I stopped playing Resident Evil games after a while. You know, like especially the PS3 ones. I am not a fan. I don't like the whole parasite. I don't know how it spawned in the Resident Evils, the newer ones, because like I said, I don't play them. So I really can't give my input as deeply as I would like. Like if I kind of knew where the parasite came from, I could kind of bash on it a little better. But all I'm saying is, I don't like the parasite thing. I don't like how some zombies are, you know, remedial and like the classic version of some zombies, and then some zombies face can open and suck in people and all that other, and like there's zombie species. I don't really care for that whole parasite idea at all.
What
That's
what
just my
was it?
opinion.
Nemesis. What Nemesis was 3?
Nemesis was a government.
3.
A government.
That was
government.
Yeah.
It was
You
with
see,
the virus.
1 and 2.
It wasn't a parasite. though.
1, 2, and 3. Like
All
The
virus.
gameplay were all virus, but when you met Nemesis, that was injected. He was given to him.
Yeah, that was
And
that
it
was
happened.
It was an
that was
experiment.
that was
It was
a
an
controlled
experiment.
experiment.
Yeah, it was.
We're talking
with
about
the virus.
parasites.
But
We're
the
not talking about controlled
What?
experiment.
But
that's not a
4 or
parasite.
5 and
If I give you a flu shot and you get sick, that's not a parasite. That's a controlled
but-
injection.
No, I'm just I'm adding on like
No, you're adding on to what we talked about
4
before.
and 5 and 6. Is it 6?
I haven't
6
played
is
6
about
yet.
to come out. It hasn't come out yet.
Or no, it's out. I just haven't played it.
They're parasites. Like, well, oh no, actually, 6 I believe is they're parasites and the other ones. They're parasites.
It's
and,
like a mix. It was a mix of it.
The parasites are the ones that are the rulers. The infected are the ones that are just like mindless. They do whatever the parasites say to do. Anyway,
I haven't played
I agree with what you're saying. Like the I don't understand where when the zombie became a parasite.
So
Okay,
so
hold on a second. Okay, let's just go ahead and establish right now that the T virus for Resident Evil was government made. Okay, and we're gonna go with that. And it was government made, and like it made monsters and it made zombies. Okay, what didn't stop them from making a parasite that would infect people to where they can control? That is where it's going after. They quit making this T virus. They bumped it up to the Urabura virus, I believe it was called. And it's a little parasite that goes into you and it controls your brain, and pretty much you're just being controlled. And that's how it is. And then,
mindless.
no. You're pretty much yourself. Like in Resident Evil 5, when I was playing the game, there was some kind of scientist that you were trying to capture. I'm sorry if you guys haven't played the game. I mean, check it out. It's awesome. It's pretty cool. Forget these guys are guys. I don't know. I love the games. I can't wait to play 6. But at one point, he gets so crazy, and you're on the boat, and he injects himself with this virus, and he starts mutating. This parasite. He starts mutating, and then he falls into the water and turns into this like big kraken thing, and like he pops out. He controls it. It's like he controls everything. And it's basically mutation. It turned from zombies to mutation, like monsters.
So-
it went from Night of the Living Dead to Dead Space.
Okay, so I got a question for you. I got a question for you. I got a question for you. So the dude injects himself, falls into the water, and turns into a kraken. Okay, so say you were in the mountains, and it was in the mountains. If you inject yourself and like jump off the edge of the mountain, do you turn into like one of the Titans off Hercules? Are you just like a huge rock zombie monster?
With the power of this, I mean, you can't really control.
Is it environmental?
Yeah,
It might be an evolutionary mutation.
It actually is. I mean, you can't really control. Like, actually, you see like another person fall. I'm not going to give that one away, and they turn into something crazy. And then, of course, the big bad guy at the end, he injects himself with like a bunch of them, and he turns into something crazy.
I think we're about to talk about the same thing. That was the movie. You're talking about the movie now, right? Or are you still talking about the video?
No. We're talking about the video game.
Okay, but in the movie, so what's up with the dude turned into like a psychic Pokemon zombie in the movie? I forgot which Resident Evil it was, but he has like psychic powers in the Resident Evil movie. I forget which one it was. It might have been Apocalypse. I'm not sure.
Are you talking about Atlas?
Yes.
Oh no! That was
She was
that was
No,
an experiment.
no.
psychic in the second one.
The dude that she fought at the very end.
Of the second one or the third one?
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
Because
he played. God, what was that monster's name? He was in the second Resident Evil. They took him out of the second Resident Evil. He was the big bad monster. I can't remember.
He was Nemesis in the second one.
No, that was the third one, Henry.
The third one?
Yes.
No.
I can't remember his name. It's like
No.
William. No, bullshit, man. Nemesis was the third one. Don't you ever
No,
do
okay. The video game, Nemesis was the third one.
Henry.
In the second one, Nemesis was...
Of course. Okay, yeah, but I'm talking about
You're talking about the game or the movie?
Comparing the villains to the game. Okay? it was from video game
Okay.
villains to the movies. Okay, and this I can't remember. It was Apocalypse. It was
The
one, two.
third one was Apocalypse. The
Yeah,
third
it was
movie
third-
was Apocalypse.
Yes. Okay, and that was the first tyrant from the second, or it was the big boss. I think his name was William, that was his human name. It was William.
Welker?
No,
Wesker?
no, that's not Wesker. It was William in the second one. He's the big bad boss in the end of that one. And I just can't remember what they called him. Either like Tyrant B or something.
Can I interrupt y'all real quick? This is exactly what we wanted to avoid, rambling. So we're gonna get back to it. I got another question. In 28 Days Later, what do you think about the whole theory that zombies can starve to death?
Well, that's a different strand of zombies.
Yeah.
That was more of a rage virus, and really, I didn't
So
think
it was a rage virus. You think?
It wasn't-
I mean, that's how it was. They were infected with rage, and I think they just got pissed off and just ripped into people.
Well-
but it didn't look like they were eating them until 28 weeks later. Then it looked like they were eating them. I was just like, okay, maybe that natural instinct came into play again. That they're starving and they need food. That kind of went into the play of that.
So like I guess in that situation it'd be kind of a thing to where they raged and then when they died the actual zombie virus would kick in. So it kind of
Well,
you don't
see
think so?
the one. See, if like the rage thing was, they never actually died. It was a human. They were
They just got infected.
They
It was
were
a
they were
disease.
infected with rage, and if they died, they died. That was
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
Like all they do was
You can kill them like a human.
survive
Oh, okay.
or
You can
die.
kill them like a human. Like in 28 Days Later, you can shoot one of them through the heart and they would die.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you can
It
you
was-
can cut one's throat and it would probably just
It
gasp
was-
for air, dying.
They were full human,
But
they
were
had
just infected.
disease.
They were infected with the
with the
disease.
disease.
And
They-
yes, I would think they would starve to death. I would think
Well,
they would starve to death.
I mean,
if
but-
then that natural instinct came into the second one because they tried to push it on more. Even though at the end of 28 Days Later they kind of ended it, but then all of a sudden
Started again with 28.
started
yeah,
again.
Yeah,
There was I
yeah.
mean, the infection was already gone, and then oh wow, we got patient zero here, who's actually
Immune to it.
immune but adapted it as well. So she is just like, she has she's the carrier of it, and yeah, that's where they fucked up. And that movie was a little ballistic.
28 weeks later was like the first half was good, but the second half.
But
was just
all right, I don't know. I think that was a pretty good segment. I think I'm going to leave it up to DJ to wrap it up right here.
All right, basically, y'all, we just want to thank you guys again for tuning in with us. Like I said, this will be going up on YouTube. You can look us up at Drunk Zombie Talk on YouTube. You can look us up on Facebook.com/Drunk Zombie Talk. Comment, man. Post, like. Don't be shy, man. Share it on your page. I share it on my
that
page.
arrow up there. Just subscribe right there.
we
Alright.
want to see it. Bring it on.
Yep. And like I said, the more feedback we get, the more we gonna talk to our viewers more directly. You know what I mean? So
Just post comments, hate comments. We take all kind of comments.
Yep.
We will take them all.
So, like I said, really appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to get back to these drinks and back to kicking it. We'll see you guys next week. We'll see you midweek. We're going to have a new question up there. Don't forget about that. Check it out. We're going to have a new poll question up there. Always excited for Walking Dead. It's getting closer, everybody. Just wait till the Super Bowl's over. And it's getting a little bit closer. We're gonna toast the DZT. And we're going to
Good night,
sign out.
everyone.
DJ Chocolate Thunder, Skittles, the Man Rabbit. We'll see you guys next week.
Good
Have
night.
a good one.